From the islands where the sun kisses the sea, I send my heart to where the colors are free. Across the skies, over mountains so high, a love that knows no boundaries, no need to ask why. In the rhythm of the waves, in the dance of the breeze, we're connected in ways only hearts can believe. From the Philippines to the shores of India.
Chapter 2. Late Night Conversations. The clock on Miguel's laptop read 12:47 a.m., but sleep was the last thing on his mind. A cool breeze drifted through his open window, rustling the curtains as he leaned back in his chair, his phone resting on the table beside him. He was waiting. It had become their unspoken tradition. When the world quieted down, when responsibilities faded into the background, they talked. A soft chime rang from his phone. Ananya. Still awake, Miguel grinned. Miguel? Of course. It's our time, isn't it? A moment later, his screen lit up with an incoming video call. He hesitated only for a second before answering. Ananya's face appeared on the screen, illuminated by the soft glow of her bedside lamp. Her long hair was tied in a loose braid, and she wore a comfortable cotton kurta. Behind her, he could see a small canvas propped up on an easel, paint splatters dotting the wooden surface. Hi, Miguel, she greeted with a sleepy smile. Hey, Ananya, he replied, adjusting his phone so she wouldn't see the messy stack of blueprints on his desk. Long day? She sighed, stretching her arms. You have no idea. I was working on a commission piece all afternoon, and my wrist is protesting. Miguel chuckled. Occupational hazard of being a great artist. She rolled her eyes playfully. And what about you, Mr. Architect? Did you design any masterpieces today? He glanced at the
It's late at night, I hear your voice. Across the miles, we have no choice. Your laughter warms my heart from afar, like you're right here, no matter how far.
sketches on his desk and shrugged. Just some drafts for a new residential complex. Nothing exciting. She tilted her head. You always say that, but I bet your work is amazing. He rubbed the back of his neck. Maybe, but let's talk about something more interesting. Tell me, what's the wildest dream you have? Ananya's eyes lit up. Wildest dream? Yes, Miguel said. If there were no limits, money, time, nothing holding you back, what would you do? She hesitated for a moment before answering. I'd open an art school, she said softly. Not just a gallery, but a place where kids and struggling artists could create without worrying about money or societal expectations. A place where art is just free. Miguel leaned forward, intrigued. That's beautiful. Why that dream? She sighed, tucking a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Because I know how it feels to have talent but no support. When I first told my family I wanted to be an artist, they didn't take me seriously. My mother wanted me to study business. My father thought art was just a hobby. Even now, I feel like I have to prove myself constantly. Miguel listened intently, sensing the vulnerability in her voice. I get that, he said after a pause. You know, I wanted to be a musician when I was younger. Ananya's eyes widened. A musician? No way. He laughed. Yeah, I played the guitar and wrote songs. But my dad was an engineer, and he had big plans for me. Architecture was the practical choice. Do you regret it? She asked. Miguel thought for a moment. Not exactly. I love designing buildings. But sometimes I wonder if I had fought harder, would I be performing on stage somewhere instead of drafting blueprints? Ananya studied him for a moment before saying, "You know, you can still play music. Dreams don't have expiration dates." Miguel smiled. "And you can still open that art school." She chuckled. "Maybe we should make a deal. If I open my school, you have to come and design the building." "It's a deal," he said, their pinkies meeting in an imaginary promise through the screen. Stories from two worlds, their conversations stretched.
I'm staring at the screen, wishing you were near. I can feel your love, even through the tears. The distance fades with every word. A dream of meeting so strong, unheard.
Deeper into the night. They spoke about their cultures, the little things that made their countries special. Miguel told her about Sinulog, the vibrant festival in Cebu, where people danced in the streets, honoring the Santo Nino. He described the feeling of standing in a sea of people, music thumping, colors swirling in the air. Ananya, in turn, told him about Holi, the festival of colors, where strangers became friends as they smeared each other with bright powders. She described how the streets of India turned into a massive celebration of life itself. "I'd love to experience Holi," Miguel admitted, "and I'd love to dance in a Sinulog parade," Ananya said, eyes twinkling. They laughed, imagining what it would be like to trade places for a day. "You'd probably get sunburned in the Philippine heat," Miguel teased. "And you'd get lost in Mumbai traffic," Ananya shot back. They both laughed, the sound warm and familiar. The first signs of something more as the nights passed. Their conversations took on a more personal tone. They spoke of childhood fears, embarrassing moments, and secret wishes they had never voiced to anyone else. One night, after a particularly exhausting day at work, Miguel admitted, "Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, no matter how many buildings I design, I'm just another name on a blueprint." Ananya's voice was soft. "You are so much more than that, Miguel." He exhaled, staring at her pixelated image on the screen. "Do you ever feel like that? Like you're just existing?" She nodded slowly. More than I'd like to admit. Silence stretched between them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was the kind of silence that spoke of understanding, of two souls recognizing something in each other. Miguel didn't say it out loud, but in that moment, he realized something. Ananya wasn't just a friend anymore. She was something more. A moment of vulnerability one night. As they were about to end their call, Ananya hesitated. "Miguel? Yeah?" She bit her lip, seeming unsure. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course. Do you ever wish we weren't so far apart?" His heart skipped a beat. He hadn't expected her to say it out loud. "All the time," he admitted. Ananya exhaled, as if relieved. "Me too." There it was, the truth hanging between them, fragile but undeniable. Neither of them said the words. Neither of them called it love. But deep down, they both knew something was growing between them, something neither of them was ready to name.
Under the same sky, we're talking tonight. Two hearts apart, but our souls take flight. One day soon we'll cross the line and meet face to face, your heart next to mine. Under the same sky, we'll share the light until the day we hold each other tight. From different worlds, but we'll be one. Under the same sky until it's done.
Wish you could be here beside me now. I can feel you in the words we allow. Every message is a step we take. One day we'll meet for love's own sake. The nights are long, but they're worth the wait. Every second closer to our fate. I dream of the moment we'll be there, together in the same place, no more air.
Under the same sky, we're talking tonight. Two hearts apart, but our souls stay flight. One day soon we'll cross the line and meet face to face, your heart next to mine. Under the same sky, we'll share the light until the day we hold each other tight. From different worlds, but we'll be one. Under the same sky until it's done.
Every night I close my eyes and dream of a time when we're no longer on the screen. I'll take your hand
And we'll leave the past in a moment. Our love will last.
Your voice is my comfort, your words are my guide. One day we'll stand side by side.
No more waiting, no more goodbyes. Just love that never dies. Under the same sky, we're talking tonight. Two hearts apart, but our souls take flight. One day soon we'll cross the line and meet face to face, your heart next to mine. Under the same sky, we'll share the light until the day we hold each other tight. From different worlds, but we'll be one. Under the same sky until it's done.
Under the same sky we'll find our way. One day soon we'll meet and stay. No more screens, no more miles to roam. Under the same sky we'll finally be